Now why? Why would the Lord prune what's fruitful? Well, he says, so that we'd bear more fruit. So bear more of what? What does it mean to be fruitful? Does it mean that we're all gonna have awesome careers and we're never gonna get sick and everybody's gonna love us? Is that the kind of fruit that we can expect as Christians? Well, no. He's gonna say it like this in Galatians 5:22 through 23. But the fruit of the Spirit, notice in this text, that's not, but the fruits of the Spirit. That's not plural, it's singular. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. So when Jesus says that because he is what we could not be, that he will prune us, he is pruning us so we can grow in these areas. And the reason this is singular and not plural is because if you tease any one of these out and make it singular, then it reveals that it's a counterfeit fruit. It's like a fruit that's stapled to a tree in the hopes that it would grow more fruit rather than it is legitimate fruitfulness. And so if you lack patience, then you're probably not loving, right? Like if you just took this and tried to tease one out, you would see they all fall apart if they're not growing. If you lack love, then you probably aren't walking in any real joy. And if you lack joy, you're probably lacking in kindness. And if you lack kindness, you probably aren't walking in a lot of goodness. And if you lack goodness, you're probably not faithful. And if you lack faithful, then you're probably not gentle, right? This is a fruit that grows symmetrically over time. And so what you see happening here is now I didn't just read that. There wasn't anybody in the room that when I read Galatians 5 went, nailing it. I can just go on and you don't have to say anything else. I've been encouraged, brother, I'm out. That's not where we find ourselves. All of us, everyone in this room, pastor included, is not where I once was, but not where I ultimately will be or even want to be in the growth of the fruit of the Spirit. And therefore the Lord in his kindness prunes so that I might grow in these areas. Somewhere along the way, and I've said this to you before, I don't know where, I've really tried to kind of research and figure out where it happened. It's such a kind of accumulation of foolishness that we began to believe that to follow the Lord is some sort of spirit sprinkle, no kind of room for difficulty or suffering or hardship or doubt, or like somewhere along the way we started thinking in terms of a singular moment as opposed to a lifelong journey where we wrestle with doubt and cling to the cross and really one foot by faith in front of the next our whole lives. Like this idea of utopia on earth is absurd. It's nowhere in the Bible. The Lord prunes and we grow. 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 Jesus says, I am what you could not be, but I am going to grow you in who I am. So in all of our efforts, so I'll speak just personally to you, in all my efforts to grow in the two largest moments of growth in my own life was the difficulty in my marriage the first 7 years and brain cancer. I found those 2 seasons of my life wrought about the greatest strides in this increase. And let me lay before you that I'd rather not go through either one of those things ever again. So even as I could say, God really grew me in that season, I'm not willing to say, I'd like another round. Right? And so here's what I want to help you with. If you're in a season right now where you feel this pruning, you feel like you're being cut back, you're in a heightened season of wrestling with doubt or struggling in this situation or relational conflict or a lot of fear and anxiety, look right at me. And this will lead me into my second point. That doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. It doesn't mean that you're being punished or that you haven't quite dialed in your discipline enough to have a happy, clappy Christian life. It's not what it means. Right? Again, we've got to kind of get rid of this notion. It's absurd. It's absurd. We will be pruned.